Hey, thanks for coming to my portfolio. I want to kind of discuss this C Sharp project a little bit and a little bit of my skills in the back end and why you should hire me as a developer for your company. Let's go to the actual project, the C Sharp project, and Visual Studio 2019. All right, so this is a project in Visual Studio 2019 that kind of took me some time doing. Let me share my screen here, actually. As you can see here, I wrote a ton of comments. And this particular project, it took me a while to really learn the back end and all of the different models and data structures and DTOs, data transfer objects, and really understand the back end and how it's used, clean code. And you can see here I have a lot of comments on this one. And so this is two projects. Let me just shorten this out. So we got my API and then we got my API UI that's going to actually consume the API, right? So if I go ahead and run this particular project, we're going to, and again, the purpose of this video is just I kind of want to show you, that I'm passionate about code, that I always striving to learn more. I've been busy. I've been working on understanding code and writing code, better code, and definitely looking to do this full time as a full-time developer. All right, so let's just kind of show you what I came up with in the C# full stack application. Particularly dealing with UI. So this particular error that I have to go in the database and fix, and basically what this error is telling me is that it's not pulling in my titles from the actual database. That's why my title's not showing. And I'll show that to you in the database in a second. But this is an Integral, which is the company I work at now. I'm an IT guy there. So you see here, it's not space there, but it's hello.a.williams@integral.com. And one feature that this application is using is the Microsoft Identity platform, because at work they're creating the Microsoft stack, and I was asked, because I'm trying to be a part of development that's there, which is one person, and I was pretty much asked to try and figure out how we may be able to use existing tokens of users that's already logged into the Integral ecosystem to log into an app like we'll make with C# or the front end React. And I did it. So let me go and copy this to kind of show you this. I come to an incognito browser. So you see the login where it prompted me to do is the Microsoft stack, the Microsoft Identity. Basically what that means is that as the user, I can log in with my Microsoft account and I can already be authenticated with this particular app. So I'm actually going to use my real credentials, my work credentials. a.williams@integral.com. All right, so now get my password. All right, so now that I did my password, I'm gonna stay signed in, and boom, it takes me to this particular application that I actually made. So this is one of the ways to use to authenticate with the app. And you see here I got my actual email displaying in the front end, and it's pulling in tickets. So if you want to come here and add a ticket, say if you need IT help or you need engineering help, you can come and submit a ticket, and you can say, I need Eric to come fix my PC screen. I dropped it, or no, say I dropped it. Let's say I want a new one, and I want to go ahead and submit that ticket. Again, it's giving me that error that I got to go into the database and find, and you see here how it's going on the front end. So when I actually go and look at the database, is Microsoft Server Management Studio. Let me go and refresh this database. You see that it's pulling. You see that the title and the actual comment is going to the database. I just have to kind of go into the code, which is a lot of code actually. I'm gonna stop the application from running. Oh yeah, and it's two applications running. Let me show you this real quick. Actually, so that's the front end that's consuming the API, and this is the actual API itself. No, I didn't want to do that. Okay, well, let's talk about it, then I'll show you again, because the API itself is pretty cool. Some more functionality with this this C# application. So this is the API UI, and let me kind of give you a brief walkthrough. So what we got going on here is an application that's consuming this API right here. So I made a class called static info, and I took this particular local host, which is the API here, and I kind of configured it right here in this class to, as it start up, it's going and utilizing these different services and like middleware and different services right here in the startup file in this C# MVC application. And I have my control. It's an MVC model, so I have my control models and views. So you look at my controller here on the front end, right? You see home controller, you see tickets controller. This is pretty much the tickets controller that's consuming the ticket repo, which is really, that's a principle and back-end engineering where you want to separate tasks and you want to keep your code clean. You don't want a lot of code together. You kind of want to keep things extracted, the details. So, and even as I have my repository and my model and different things that's communicating with the database, but I want to show you this. So this right here is the API, and this API is actually pretty cool because I want to show you what it does on the front end. So let me run this again, the API portion of it. So it's going to come and run, and let's look at the front portion of it. It's configured to use Swagger. All right, so you see how the endpoints of the Swagger application. So this is pretty cool. Again, I work at Integral, and I'm the IT guy, and what they're trying to do in the project they're trying to do is really interesting. Is how can we pull in all of these different ticketing systems into one universal application? And this is kind of what I actually solved on my own with like a lot of research and utilizing a lot of resources, and I was able to bring it back to the developer there at work. So I call this posts in, and what this really is this right here. No, wait, where is it? Okay, is this right here? So when you look at Zendesk, which is a ticketing system, Zendesk Docs. Zendesk Docs API. So what Zendesk does is a ticketing system for like IT, and I was using some endpoints, and I set up a trial account, which is the reason why I'm not really going to show the trial account for these two ticketing platforms, because as you can imagine, I've exhausted all of my emails and I just can't keep getting trials. So this two endpoints, this get endpoint and this post endpoint, this will actually get tickets from the actual Zendesk platform and the trial account that I made. And also it can actually post tickets to Zendesk using the API. As well, tickets from the database that I have here in my Microsoft Server Management. And also we have something called LA Ticket. This is another ticketing desk. Let's go back into the code actually. Let me stop it. All right, so this API, it utilizes DTOs, data transfer objects. It utilizes mappers, and basically what that stuff is you're designing the architecture of your application to where down the line it's able to really be a big application and things remain in order, the infrastructure of it, and you can like just add on to the application without having a bunch of confusion, and also taking into mind security risk, dealing with like mappers, like if you have an API and you have users that's going to be consuming that information from the API, you don't necessarily want that user. You want to kind of be able to modify what the user sees. That's what mappers will do in DTOs, data transfer objects. It's really good. So see, it's have models, have my controllers, have some logic. Like that's the Zendesk ticketing. Let's go to the ticketing controller. So you see here, I'm doing some dependency injection. I have a lot of comments here, by the way, just kind of as I'm learning these different concepts, I always try to do my best to like make note of them and write them down, stuff like that. So now that I taking this particular object and equaling it out to like an underscore mapper, this lets me know that this is how I can access like repositories or database using dependency injection. I can come down here and just use it in my logic with a lot of comments. So you just see some general logic here with some API REST endpoints. Like this is HTTP GET, so I'm gonna pretty much be getting some things or a list of things, which is like some tickets. I'm gonna be getting my tickets, and all this is like some logic. If statement saying, hey, if this is null and is not found, then return this. I got a post, which is going to post data to a particular endpoint. So I just kind of really wanted to make this video just kind of explain what my understanding is with C# and and just how excited I am really to just continue to learn and to apply these different things. Let me stop sharing actually. Yeah, just kind of share how I'm looking forward to just apply these different technologies and build some pretty cool things with these different technologies in C#. And I'm hoping that one day I can be able to work on this stuff full time, because if I'm able to do this at it's like 11 something at night or whatever time it is, imagine what I'm able to do with 40 hours a week. So that's my C# video.